Well, I'm back. Okay, so it is hot. And I say that as a uh, recently frozen jailbird here in the cold confines of eastern Washington. When I say jailbird, because I felt like I was cooped in. The cold, you can hardly do anything, and now I'm getting cooked. So it's freezing, and when you're tired of that, you can get cooked. So not particularly what I want, not particularly what I uh, am accustomed to. And then by the time you get acclimated to the heat, guess what? It's time to freeze again. So I'm getting tired of this cycle. I'm like I was saying the other day, I want to think about getting into maybe going to Puerto Rico, where, as I understand, around sea level, it's about 85 Fahrenheit to 92 Fahrenheit, and then they got mountains and stuff apparently that you can go up to and get some temperature reduction if you need it. So that sounds mighty fine to me. I might have to learn some better Espanol, which is all right. The way my mind works, if I need it functionally, it'll eventually do whatever it needs to do. The wiring those neurons to get the job done. Whether it's learning by trial and error or learning by uh, pain compliance, or you name it. There's all kinds of different ways. So let's see. So I had a lot of subjects I was going to speak on, but I do want to say a few things come to mind here. So I'm driving this turbo diesel. It's really old, almost as old as me. It's a 1984, and it's frisky in the heat. I mean, it's doing well. It starts right up. There's no crank. It's easy peasy, and it has a vacuum system. That's doing okay. It gets aggravated when it gets too hot though. But there's that happy Goldilocks medium, just good enough, in the middle, where it's doing good. I think it was 24.5 degrees Celsius. There's a little Celsius thermometer on here, I can tell. So as a note, if you have a OM 617 5-cylinder turbo diesel, 24.5 degrees Celsius. It was mighty fun operations. It was about 30 degrees Celsius today, according to that little meter. Whoa, I'm starting to sweat here. I don't know about talking in a car. It's too smart when you're in the sun. That's kind of goofy town. Got my little air ventilation right there. One of my worst, mistakes, and one of those mistakes you make by trying to avoid mistakes, is I kept this car buttoned up last summer. I was afraid that what happened so much with these automatic windows is they'll go down and they won't come up. So there'll be something wrong, and then now you're stuck with the windows down. So I decided to keep the windows up 100% of the time. And as a result, if you look, now some of this wasn't me, some of it was here already, but if you look, the wood trim and stuff is bubbling up in different spots because the heat's been so intense and the glue melted on. So there you go. I mean, sometimes fancy isn't good. I know if you look on some of those GM products with the fake wood, that's done fine in the heat. That hasn't separated or whatever. Specifically, I've been seeing some of those Suburbans with the fake wood grain by the instrument cluster gauges and stuff. It's doing all right. So sometimes fake is good. Real is not durable. Here, I better open this door here. Starting to cook myself alive here. So There's something percolating in the near the glove compartment. It sounds like a I don't know if you hear it. It sounds like a turn signal, but it's not a turn signal. But sometimes it kicks on. I imagine it has something to do with the climate control, possibly. Maybe some kind of a legacy of switch or valve or something that's just acting weird. You never know. You never know. You have to know, but on purpose. You won't know hardly any other way. And my time's so limited, it's sick. There's so much I'd rather be doing. I was talking to Bard, the Google AI chatbot, and I could just spend hours talking to that thing, seeing what it has to say about stuff. But a lot of the feedback is so throughput is so well delivered that I don't want to waste its resources by endless queries. I want to kind of study what it's trying to put out there. It's very intricate information. Now I have an L key on my keyboard that is acting up. Doesn't work all the time, and so there's missing some L's, like in the word wood, WOLD, WOULD. Well, it was WOUD, and yet it may seem trivial, but Google Bard answered the question without skipping a beat. I guess it figured this human input's full of errors, so it's the most likely context in relation to the other words used, and so probably would, informed guessing, inference machine, is that what they're called? So yeah, I gotta go to work here soon. So a little bit of interest of mine is that old school of thought called cybernetics. It was about using automated information and computer control and all kinds of switches and radio control and remote things. And so it was like a way of running stuff with automation before all this new gen stuff. And so I was asking Google Bard, had the instigators of that, and you know what I'm talking about without me talking about it, had that nation took it seriously, and then also had an AI similar, if not equivalent to Google Bard, and followed the advice of the AI insofar as policies and improvements and things, would they have not been able to extend their sell-by date, so to say, before they imploded or broke up, or what I want to say? And yeah, it said, well, Google Bard said, yeah, so a little hard to say with certainty, but it probably would have helped. So one of my concerns is our present state of the nation here in the United States. Like, if you get someone that's mediocre or worse, intellectually, and they're in a position of decision making, if they have access to a good AI type chatbot type, whatever you want to call it, Chat GPT, Google Bard, the different equivalents, if they have access to that and they're able to ask questions and then kind of riff off of whatever set, more or less follow the advice, it can turn a mediocre and downright pitiful decision maker into a rock star, because it's it's not only the wisdom of the crowd, it's the wisdom of the algorithmic constituent and logic. There's some other $5 $10 words I can throw at you. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, if you have a problem making decisions, get yourself access to one of these AI chat type interfaces and ask away. Get some input. And I bet you if you had ability to convene with multiple different brands and different makes and models of these things, it would be like a boardroom, but it would be you asking a round table of AIs what each one thought about the same subject. The amount of information you'd be able to get and put into action would turn you into a psychological um, Olympian. I mean, the human mind is so full of errors and bias and bologna sauce that you know, you really do need to balance. Even if you're not a decision maker, start practicing it. They call them AI whispers, where you're able to talk to these AIs and kind of convene with them and get things squared away. It's not a bad idea. You learn that skill, because was to ask your street corner friend about something highfalutin versus asking the AI multi-million trillion dollar invention. Come on, do the right thing.